Darren, I don't think many teams will come back from a losing position to get points against Worthing this season. So a draw here, you must be really happy right now.
Yeah, we are. We're really pleased. If you look at the actual game itself, we felt extremely unlucky to go 1-0 down. In the build-up to the game, when you're analysing the opposition, they're well coached. I think Chris is very good at what he does. He's got an excellent team together. They're a team that's probably carried a little bit of momentum from last year and have added additions to that. And they know how to win. And they spent a large part of last season at the top. So we knew it was going to be difficult. One thing that we asked for the players is to make sure, we were organised. We had to be really good without the ball today because they test you down the sides, they test you over the top, and they draw you onto them. So we, had to be really brave in our press, which I thought we were. And as I said, I felt like we were unlucky to be 1-0 down at half time. We've spoken to the lads about matching their physicality. I was stood right next to the tackle. It was a sending off. If it was one of my players, it's one of those that you have to accept. He's lunged into one of our players. His foot was in the air, so that sort of gave them the opportunity to be able to sit back behind the ball. And probably the only frustration, at times we found it very difficult to break that down. So overall, yeah, extremely pleased to come away to Worthing and come back with a point.
Patience are key as well, especially scoring at the end. You mentioned on the coach, some of your players, how important game changers are, and one of them's gone out there and then scored the last minute goal.
Yeah, I was glad that you witnessed that because, this squad's really small and there's a few game changers that probably find themselves unlucky not to be starting, but I can only pick 11 players. So, I think Mitch needed that goal. I think that'll lift his, confidence and, it was a fantastic well-worked goal. I mean, the cross was delivered. We have been doing a lot of crossing and finishing on the training ground, so it was nice, for Mitch to finish that one off.
It's a result to build on as well. As we said before, that Worthing are one of the better teams in this league. They've been playoffs the last couple of years. You can take it in the next week full of confidence.
Yeah, well, listen, we always believe in ourselves and we come here, before the game, set up to win. But it's extremely difficult. We're having a full time now. And, they're on the training field, probably 50% more than what we are. So, you have to take that into consideration. But again, I felt we finished the stronger team. And, that shows our preparation from pre-season's gone really well. And to only, lose one player with a small squad, the lads have really been resilient throughout pre-season.
You've said before about how players listen in on instructions, game plans. Is it difficult to prepare them for opening games of the season when, a couple of new faces for Worthing and they haven't played for a few months? I know it's that they've got to do the same for us as well.
Nah, not at all.
No?
I mean, I've come up against Chris, at PDP face, so I know exactly how his team plays. And, I'm brave enough to make sure, I set my team up to take risks without it. And, with the quality of coaching, he's brave enough to play a lot of risky passes from the back. And, there was 2 or 3 occasions where I felt if we found that final ball, the game plan would have been, worked really well. So, yeah, no, I'm pleased. I'm proud of the players. They're a great group of players, but, I want them to believe in themselves a little bit more.
Supporters as well, they were really behind you for the whole game and how much they enjoyed that moment, and they'll do the same against Dover Athletic. You must be happy to be back at Cannon Clark Stadium next week.
It was good because obviously we've seen them in the service station, so to catch up with them personally and all the players, have conversations with them. We really appreciate the amount of effort that they put in and financially the burden that they carry with that. So to send them home with a point, first game of the season away from home against a team that were consistently at the top last year is a great day at the office.
So a final one on Zack Smith. Obviously, we released a video recently. He raised so much money through GoFundMe already, and I know that you and the players have been really supportive. I know he hasn't played under you, but what's he been like with you recently, and how can you sort of relate to his situation?
I think the biggest thing that I've found with Zack is obviously when I came in, you know, he was already suffering the injury from the game against Bournemouth. Having watched it back, he was extremely unlucky. It's never easy when a player goes through injuries, certainly one that could possibly be career threatening. He's persevered, he's been great around the group last year, which is why we gave him a squad number and made sure that he was, felt welcome at Bath City. He's been great around the players. I do feel sorry for him, and my big thanks goes to everyone, family, friends, supporters, that have raised enough funds to take that financial pressure away, because it is difficult when you're injured and you're watching the players play, mentally and emotionally. So a big thanks to the community getting together and supporting him, because taking that financial pressure away from Zack is definitely going to help.
I'm sure he would have been buzzing with a point. And thanks very much for chatting to us this afternoon.
Cheers, Mark.